Acting like a moral leader. Companies that get into ethical trouble typically have top leaders who make quarterly earnings and the share price their primary purpose of business and the most important measure of individual and organizational success. When leaders forget that business is about values and not just economic performance, organizations and the broader society are hurt in the process. Moral leadership doesn't mean ignoring profit and loss, share price, production costs, and other hard measurable facts, but it does require recognizing and adhering to ethical principles and acknowledging the importance of human meaning, quality, and higher purpose. Despite the corporate realities of greed, competition, and the drive to achieve goals and profits, leaders can act based on moral values and encourage others to develop and use moral values and to adhere to ethical standards of conduct in the workplace. The single most important factor in ethical decision-making in organizations is whether leaders show a commitment to ethics in their talk and especially their behavior. Employees learn which values are important by watching their leaders. So, how do you act like a moral leader? This exhibit lists some specific ways leaders act to build an environment that allows and encourages people to behave ethically. Leaders create organizational systems and policies that support ethical behavior, such as creating open-door policies that encourage people to talk about anything without fear, establishing clear ethical codes, rewarding ethical conduct, and showing zero tolerance for violations. Most companies have established codes of ethics to guide employee behavior or lists of core values that employees are expected to honor. To help struggling individuals and families break the cycle of poor financial decision making by using car buying process that creates lasting change, financial stability, and control. Leaders articulate and uphold high ethical standards, and they behave morally even if they think no one is looking. There is some evidence that doing right by employees, customers, and the community, as well as by shareholders, is good business. For example, in a recent study of top 100 global companies that have made a commitment to environmental sustainability found they had significantly higher growth sales, return on assets, profits, and cash flow from operations in at least some areas of business. Becoming a moral leader. All leadership practices can be used for good or evil and thus have a moral dimension. Leaders choose whether to act from selfishness and greed to diminish others or to behave in ways that serves others and motivate people to expand their potential as employees and as in human beings. Moral leadership is about distinguishing right from wrong and doing right, seeking the just, the honest, the good, and the right conduct in achieving goals and fulfilling purpose. Moral leadership uplifts people and enhances the lives of others. Immoral leadership takes away from others to enhance oneself. Leaders often know what is right. The question becomes how they choose to act on it and what internal strengths and external policies and processes are in place to enable them to follow through on doing the right thing. One internal characteristic that influences the leader's capacity to make moral choices is the individual's level of moral development. This exhibit shows a simplified illustration of one model of personal moral development. At the pre-conventional level, individuals are egocentric and concerned with receiving external rewards and avoiding punishment. They obey authority and follow rules to avoid detrimental consequences or satisfy immediate interests. Someone with this orientation in a leadership position would tend to be autocratic toward others and use the position for personal advancement. At level 2, the conventional level, people learn to conform to the expectations of good behavior as defined by colleagues, family, friends, and society. People at this level follow the rules, norms, and values in the corporate culture. If the rules are to not steal, cheat, make false promises, or violate regulatory laws, a person at this level will attempt to obey. If the social system says it's okay to inflate bills to the government or make achieving the bottom line more important than honesty and integrity, they will usually go along with that norm too. At the post-conventional level, sometimes called the principled level, leaders are guided by an internalized set of principles, universally recognized as just and right. People at this level may even disobey rules or laws that violate these principles. These internalized values become more important than the expectations of other people in the organization or community. More adults operate at level 2 of moral development, and some have not advanced beyond level 1. Research has consistently found a direct relationship between higher levels of moral development and more ethical behavior on the job, including less cheating, a tendency toward helpfulness to others, and the reporting of unethical or illegal acts, known as whistleblowing.